How you woofin doing? It's your boy Jake the Dog here. In today's video, I'm going to be introducing Cast 14 from the Alliance Eternal Empire, which was one of the finalists of the Osiris League in Season 9. So let's head straight into this. I'm first gonna ask you, how would you like to introduce EE to any new players?
Eternal Empire, it's the main alliance of 3568. So we're low seed, but very high KP and active KD. We just entered KVK 4, so we are one of the last kingdoms that profited from KVK 2 sock migration before new migration rules. And pretty insignificant in terms of power every KVK, but we managed to pull off top DKP each time. We have a pretty significant impact every time on the battlefield. And well, we just ranked top 2 in the last Osiris League in our realm, so yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you guys seem to continue this process of showing up as underdogs, people not anticipating a lot from you, but your strong players show up, you pull through, and you pop off by the end of it. Power to you guys. That leads us into our next question. You can summarize your team and your kingdom in one sentence. How would you think that would be?
Honestly, like happy to be here, happy to be playing, having a nice time, you know, just trying to annoy our enemies as much as possible. And well, it worked pretty well so far.
I understand that feeling. We've been doing the same thing in my kingdom. You know, we go into every KVK with the lowest power, but we just show up at the KP, try to kill everyone on the field, and they're never anticipating it. But what I'd love to know about EE, you guys are so new to everyone. What is the origin story behind EE? How was it formed? And is there any fun facts or anything interesting that we should know about it?
Originally, 3568 was a very, very small kingdom in KVK 1 because we had a civil war where our current leader, Dex, overthrew a noob whale that was called Senpai. You know, that he didn't know how to run a KD, so they overthrew him and they managed very, very well migration for KVK 2 so that, you know, we could be actually a significant kingdom in KVK. Fun fact, yeah, we were top 1 DKP in KVK 2 despite being bottom in power, and we were top 2 DKP KVK 3 despite again being, I think, like not the last one but the one before the last one in terms of power, and we still didn't get a single star despite all these performances.
Hey yo, at the end of the day, don't discourage yourself as a star is just visually appealing. All that matters is about the stats, and if you guys tried your hardest, and from what it seems, you guys started from the bottom, had a civil war, your kingdom went to ruins. You guys were able to rebuild from the bottom up, able to make this great kingdom and just like overcome these hardships. And sometimes with the ugly, you can improve. You know, diamonds are only made in pleasure.
That is true.
Now I would like to go on to your team structure and the culture of your team itself, because it seems like you guys, from what you say, have been able to overcome lots of hardships. So how would you like to describe the other team members?
Overall, we're like kind of funny, having fun, laughing between matches, and you know, when it actually starts, we all lock in, and it's kind of like we turn into wild animals. We're like jumping on every single point we can make, listening. Like you could hear a fly during our VCs. Everyone's focused, no one's talking unnecessarily, and everyone's following our leadership's orders. So, you know, really this nice atmosphere, and then, you know, locking in when it's time to. We know how to take things seriously, but we also know it's a game, and the goal is to have fun at the end of the day.
Yo, that's beautiful, because, you know, you're not trying to have lots of pressure around it, because, like, before you go in, like you're saying, it's just a game. But however, when it's happening, you still gotta take it serious, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Gotta at least make the most of the moment. Yep. Anyways, what I'd like to more know is, how is the structure of your team constructed?
So basically, we divided in two sides. One side is the French, because we had a lot of French migrants, and the other side is the international people who are speaking English. We have two strategists and side leaders, so they are Zodi and Andro, and you know they do all the strategy that has led us so far. And then we have the rally and garrisons. We didn't much rally, but so it's mainly garrisons, and they're kind of like leading their lane. We had like outer and inner lane, and so, you know, that divides in the 6 kind of leaders. They are the only one talking, giving call-outs and, you know, asking for help and stuff. And then the rest are like open field fighters and fillers and gatherers as well, because, you know, that gives a lot of points, especially in kingdoms where people don't have 5 marches. And those ones only speak when it's time to, you know, give information about something the others didn't see or something like this.
Although y'all knew Osiris League team, so it probably was a lot of trial and error. I like how you guys were able to find everyone's strengths on your team and make the most of it. And clearly you did, because you guys were able to take it all the way, become finalists while everyone just overlooking you guys and just thinking y'all were underdogs. So big props to you guys. I would really like to know, how would you like to promote your alliance to other players, to anyone who's considering being a part of it?
Well, pretty much, if you're a warrior, searching for an active alliance, efficient leadership, in a kingdom where you can become family when, it's not the military all the time. If you're not afraid to spend troops and resources, if you want a battle-hardened leadership, 3568 might be for you, because we reach top DKP, each KVKs, top 2 in OL. That speaks for itself.
And on top of that, you guys continue to reach these high tier stats in these KVKs and don't even have a star to show for it and don't even mind it. Like, it doesn't mean much, and you guys will still show up even if you don't necessarily get like the label per se to show for it. So how do you guys? I would love to know how you like to promote to other people. What values does your line stand for? Because it seems you guys have a very inclusive community of, like you said, you allow players on your team to make the most of their abilities, even if they don't have the most power or the best commanders.
We have a pretty fight or die mentality. We try to uphold a nice community activity, both on Discord, in VC, out of KVKs, in the Alliance chat, to have a fun and inclusive space. But once it's fighting, it's fight or die, so we help each other out. We know we're a team and we have to help everyone. Even the little ones, we can always find roles for them and help them become better on the game because they are new. So that's what we are trying to promote: activity, fighting, spending time on the game, and having fun.
Well, what it sounds like what you guys are most importantly promoting is a community in your alliance, even in and out of KVKs. And that's the most important thing, is being able to consistently, and that's the word, consistently, contain activity in and out of the seasons, the on and off seasons, to keep your alliances active. Because that's honestly how alliances die in the long run, when you can't maintain the consistent activity.
That is true, yeah.
Now that leads us into the Osiris League insights. Because you guys were able to become finalists, I know many people would love to know the ins and outs of how you guys were able to do this. First, I'd like to know, what was the most memorable Osiris League experience out of it all?
I don't know if you've watched our match against 3560, but it was very memorable at the end, because on paper, in a lot of videos, it was like 60 already won. They were trash talking and stuff, and we ended up winning by just a few seconds. Because we prevented them from securing the last arc, and it was like everyone was marching there to prevent them capturing the structure, to just slow them down, just trying to capture the arc and put it a few meters back. And everyone was holding their breath and stuff. It was very intense, and in the end we won. Probably the most memorable moment we all had.
Well, it was a very strong showcase of you guys being able to have solid strategy and then being able to control all your players to be like, we need everyone to concise themselves in the middle. We all need to focus this arc. It's the most important key objective, and you guys pulled through and were able to make it to the finale because of it. I love it. I love it. Which aspects of the Osiris League do you or the team find most engaging?
I'm gonna say teamwork, because we mostly like each other. So just having to rely on each other and trust your teammates was really great. And also, I can't lie, the rewards and just the pride from getting top 2 in OL against all odds. At the beginning, we were thinking we're just gonna try, well, because there is rewards. So if we get top 16, that's still pretty great and stuff. We never thought we'd get that far. And yeah, rewards and pride from achieving this are also really, really great.
Yeah, you guys were truly able to persevere, and I knew the odds were stacked against your favor, because I was contacting Zodi to get him on for an interview, and he was his mind wasn't even set, and y'all even making it far in Osiris League. And next thing I know, I see y'all going all the way to the finals. Y'all truly were able to persevere with odds stacked against you. So really proud of you guys, because like when you look at the realm you're into, you guys are in the toss-up realm, but then when you see a team that's at like 2.8 plus power or like very different range, and all the other realm that's normal, but in that one you just assume that okay, the team that has more power is just gonna crush the other ones, but you guys said fuck it, we're better than that. I love that. But I would love to know, because you guys were the underdog, you guys had to have some type of strategy that set you up for success. So how did you guys prepare for your Osiris League matches? Were there any unique strategies or rituals that you guys did? I'd love to know.
Well, there are two things. Some stuff I can't say, of course, but
yes.
One thing is we all had our roles. I don't know how it is in other teams, but we all had our roles, and we had to stick to it no matter what. We were not supposed to look at what others were doing. We were to be trusting the others on their capabilities, and we just had to do our stuff. That's it. No looking, no judging, no nothing, no trash talking, no insulting. And 30 minutes before a match, we just gather up in VC. We review strategy, any changes that could be made, and remind everyone boosts, expansions, no troops out of the city and stuff. And then we just joke to relieve the pressure before the match, so that we can be fully focused.
So it seems like you guys have one key strategy, and that is follow the instructions, don't get away from the plan, and just trust the process. Trust the process.
Yep.
Lastly, I'd like to know is, what challenges did you guys face during your Osiris League, and how were you able to overcome these challenges?
Well, I'd say we had two great challenges. First of all, we had a really great KVK2 migration, including a group of Spanish players that were with us at the beginning of Osiris League, and they betrayed us because they decided to migrate out.
That's
after
what I was told.
Everyone was registered for the playoffs without telling us, just because some of them couldn't keep up with the KPN activity. So we told them, it's just stay for Osiris League, because you're gonna get rewards and stuff, but then you're gonna have to start looking for a new kingdom. And so they took that kind of personally and just left, and that was annoying because we had some really good players in there, 15 build KP, stuff like this, important players, and they migrated without notifying, and we had to replace them with our natives T4, with a 150 mil KP. So, and it worked. We're really proud of that and of our natives. And the second challenge, of course, was I'd say 35-60, because that was our hardest match. Well, besides from the final, of course, but we stood very little chance and still managed to pull it off despite everyone betting against us. So we are really proud of that.
Yeah, for real. That's where I was thinking my head was at earlier when I was talking about Zodi. Was kind of like, I just am giving up, because even though he had his own plans, he was still set on at least finalizing your guys' Osiris League success. So props to him for still doing that for you guys. But it seemed like he felt like there was no chance, because you didn't specify how many numbers, but I'm assuming that's 5 to 10 players, 5 to 10 core players, 11 core players.
Yep.
You guys lose of your Osiris League team, and you can only register 30 plus 15 players. And then for people who really don't know the ins and outs, or if they do Osiris League, it is very hard to coordinate Osiris League teams, because you need to coordinate people who can do the exact Osiris League time slots, which is Sunday at 13 or 14, 15, that time UTC. You then need to make sure that they can actually follow a plan and coordinate and actually be strategic enough to follow your plan, because if you don't follow what's on paper, everything goes to shambles. And then 3, you then lose all of them, and they have then been building core roles on your team. So I don't want to say you guys got used to it, but it's you create a system, and then in the middle of the Osiris League, when you guys are at the most peak important moment in Osiris League at the end. You guys have to like basically rechange your whole strategy. So you guys truly persevering, all the odds stacked against you and still being able to go to the finals. Like, you guys are truly finalists, like, just for doing that in my eyes. Cause like, that's a crazy underdog story. Like losing like some of your core team, this being your guys' like first time, like, I know you guys been taking your KVK seriously, but taking Osiris League is a whole nother step of like competitiveness that you have to do. Like, I don't know how much you guys did. Like, did you guys do practices or like anything like that? Like,
sadly, no, because, well, some of our players are still very new, so we just didn't have enough player online all the times.
Well, that attests to it how hard it is for you guys to then actually get like 30 plus 15. I don't know how many guys you actually had to register.
We were 34 at the end of it.
34,
because of the migration.
34. But like, I'm just glad you guys were able to still persevere through with all those odds against you. Now that we've been through the thick of it, we can get into some fun things. Who do you think was the funniest or most unpredicted member of your team? And if you don't want to call someone out, you can just talk about something that was also just unpredictable moment or the funniest moment that happened to you.
Well, that was one thing that was pretty funny, but that's only for the French side for us, because I don't know what happened in the international side, but we had a player named Reckless who's Canadian, so 15 UTC, he was not here, he was at work, and we're in VC, everyone focused and stuff, and then we had him joining VC mid-game in his car, so pretty bad quality of audio, and just starting to cheer us up with a strong accent. That was really great, like relieving pressure mid-game and stuff. That was it all the time got us laughing, so yeah, that was really great.
Well, I mean, you guys were having a stressful moment. Sometimes you just need someone to come in and just break the ice, and just relieve some of that pressure, and that maybe allow you guys to like take a deep breath. No, it's just a game, and like to like not be overthinking things. And sometimes when you're overthinking and overstressing stuff, it makes you like overanalyze things, and then you're taking way too long to do things. When you're in a match that is only an hour, like you need to do things fast paced, and sometimes you analyzing is you wasted time.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, I'd like to know if your lines was a movie or a song, what would it be and why?
Well, I spoke a bit with a few guys before this interview about this, and we all agreed on Rocky, because no one thought in us at the beginning. Even we didn't really think we would go any far, and we ended up doing pretty good. That represents us well, I think.
I agree with that too. What's a phrase or an inside joke only the team would understand?
Oh, there's quite a few. I'd say for one match I had my Wi-Fi come down for like 2 minutes.
Oh no.
And I was a garrison, so I couldn't get my garrison in, and when I came back we still managed to pull it off. But since then I'm like, if we lose a match, if we lose something, that's because of me, because I've been AFK.
No, not it happening to you. That used to happen to me. Like, I would, anytime in a lot of kingdoms I fight in, when I'm in a war, when shit goes south, people just be like, it's all Jake's fault. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like, what do you mean? I just did one thing one time. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's not this time, I swear. Okay.
Yeah, same.
Before we wrap this up, are there any final shout-outs to the community or rivals or anyone watching out there that you'd like to call out?
Well, first of all, shout out to our enemies. Treated pretty fairly every KVK. When fighting ended, they gave us pretty decent deals. So that's great, because it's just fair play. We like it. Shout out to 3535. They won last KVK. They destroyed us, honestly. They're our allies now. We really count on them to win this one. They're really beast. They deserved final for Osiris League, in my opinion, because we did a training against them, and they smashed us, honestly. And then finally, shout out to 3539. They really deserve to win this. Honestly, they were the strongest team by far in this realm. They outmatched us both in strategy and account strength. So really, GG's to them. And GG's to everyone that participated. It was a fun Osiris League. we really had a lot of nice moments, and yeah, it was great.
GG's for that. I like that in Osiris League and throughout it all, you were able to like have some rekindling experiences with past enemies, and you know, like that's low-key something that I like about Osiris League, and even in KVKs when you can go up against like friends or people that you've created a sense of pride for, because then you guys like can try super hard to beat each other, but then at the end you're both proud of what you both were able to do it.
Yep.
Anyways, I know you said it was getting late for you, so I don't want to leave you and keep you going much longer, but I appreciate you for talking with me, conducting this interview, talking about EE, because people really needed to hear the success and what you guys have been able to do in Osiris League, because y'all were true underdogs from the start. Like I said, we're able to start from the bottom, and now you're here. So, finalists, baby.
Thank you very much for your recognition. We don't have a star, but at least we have this. So that's really great. Thank you for taking time for this. And just sliding. We are recruiting. If you have a nice account and want to join us, you can add me on Discord. I think Jay can put it. It's cost 14. And yeah, thank you very much for this interview, and have a nice one.
Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes.